Hello, my name is Ken Harrell, and I'm the managing partner at the Joye Law Firm. Thank you for contacting our law firm to assist you with your work injury. Over the last 45 years, our law firm has represented thousands of injured workers in South Carolina, and I believe you've made a wise decision by considering us as your law firm. We know you have a choice, and I want you to know how much we appreciate your placing your trust in us. The purpose of this video is to provide you with an introduction to workers' compensation law in South Carolina. The information that will be covered is especially important in light of the changes made by the legislature a few years ago. Some of these changes have had a drastic effect on the rights of injured workers. You may have experience of an injury claim resulting from an auto accident. It's important to know up front that the way the benefits are calculated and paid for a work injury claim are completely different. I will begin by giving you some background about the history of our Workers' Compensation Act, because without knowing how our law came to be, it's hard to understand why the benefits are set up the way that they are. Years ago, before our Workers' Compensation Act was passed, if you were hurt on the job, you used to have to prove that somebody did something wrong to cause your accident, that your employer or perhaps a co-employee did something wrong to cause your injury. The problem is that for most injured workers, it's very hard to prove that somebody else did something wrong. It is a fact of life that people who do physical work, unfortunately, are going to get hurt from time to time. Before the Workers' Compensation Act, if you were a construction worker who hurt his back and suffered a herniated disc because you picked up something heavy and twisted the wrong way, you would have been out of luck because you could not have proven fault. Your employer basically would have said, "We're sorry you got hurt, get yourself well, and maybe we'll put you back to work." But in most cases, you would have been thrown out on the scrap heap and somebody else would have been brought in to do your job. The Workers' Compensation Act was designed to cover as many injured employees as possible. It created a no-fault system where you don't have to prove fault in order to get a recovery. All you have to prove is that you were working when you got hurt. For example, if a UPS driver runs a red light while he is working and as a result is badly injured, that employee would still be able to get workers' compensation benefits, even though the accident was his fault. The only question that you have to answer to get workers' compensation benefits is, were you working when you got hurt? If the answer is yes, you are entitled to work comp benefits. Now that's the good news for the employee, but employers and insurance companies also benefit from this. When they first passed this law, there was a real outcry from the insurance companies, saying, "Good Lord, we're going to go from having one or two claims a year to having hundreds or thousands of claims each year because physical workers are going to get hurt." So what were the benefits that the employers and the insurance companies received? Number one, workers' compensation is an exclusive remedy for an employee who is injured on the job. That means you cannot sue your employer or a co-employee outside of the Workers' Compensation Act, even if you can prove that they did something wrong or even reckless to cause your injury. You are limited to what you are able to recover under our Workers' Compensation Act, no matter what your employer or co-employee may have done to cause your accident. The second biggest benefit for the employers and the insurance companies is that there are tight caps on what you can recover for a work injury. There are certain things that you cannot recover for. For example, there is absolutely no recovery for pain and suffering under the Workers' Compensation Act, or for other intangible damages, such as loss of enjoyment of life. That is very harsh and unfair to injured workers, particularly those who undergo surgery or are permanently disabled. Now, if you were injured in a car accident, you would be able to recover for those types of things, but we cannot get you a recovery for those elements of damages when it comes to your work injury. Now that you understand these limitations, I want to go through the basic benefits so you will have a better understanding of what you are entitled to receive.